Do not tell anyone about this way into the gallows. It's a secret that has saved the lives of hundreds of mages. This is it. This tunnel will take us into the gallows.
With any luck, we'll simply be mistaken for thieves and not conspirators.
Are you ready to help me find evidence of the tranquil solution? Let's go. It tells you something of Kirkwall's attitude. That they house their mages in an old slave prison. Lyrium smugglers built these tunnels to service the Templars who crave the stuff. your plan!
Number one for me! How many of you got it, Hawke? You better luck in the
I'd run if I were you! You messed with the wrong mate!
No, please. I haven't done anything wrong.
That's a lie. What do we do to mages who lie?
I just wanted to see my mum. No one ever told her where they were taking me.
No. No, this is their place. We cannot...
So, you admit your attempted escape? You know what happens to mage girls who don't toe the line around here, don't you?
Please, no! Don't make me tranquil. I'll do anything.
That's right. Once you're tranquil, you'll do anything I ask.
The Chantry frowns on Templars who take personal advantage of their charges.
Who's this?
You fiends will never touch a mage again. They will die! I will have every last Templar for these abuses!
The Templars are gone. You can stop glowing.
Every one of them will feel justice's burn!
Get away from me, demon!
I am no demon! Are you one of them, that you would call me such?
Anders, that girl is a mage. We rescued her from being made tranquil.
She is theirs. I can feel their hold on her.
She's the reason you're fighting, Anders. Don't turn on her now.
Please, Messer.
Baker, no. I almost... If you weren't here... I need to get out of here.
that, I'm done.
You saved my life, Monsieur. What was that thing?
Don't worry. It was all a trick by the Circle to scare you away from ever summoning demons.
I wouldn't. I never...
It was a joke.
Can I go home now?
Find your parents, but don't stay there. You must leave Kirkwall.
I know. There's nowhere in the city where Sir Ulrich's men won't find me. Thank you, Monsieur. Andraste herself must have put you in that room.
Trash. Trash. Keep. Trash. Trash. Won't be needing that anymore.
This is all Sir Ulrich had. Looks like the Tranquil solution began and ended with him.
Let me see that. The Divine rejected the idea. Meredith rejected the idea. This was not what I expected. Perhaps I should try talking to the Grand Cleric. Maybe she's more reasonable than I thought. Thank you. I will think on what you've said.
What are you doing?
Putting out milk. I miss having a cat around. But I think the refugees have scared them all off. Or maybe eaten them. You know, I've been meaning to thank you. You don't need to stick your neck out for the mages here. But you have. You let those apostates from Starkhaven start over. Maybe they can be an example for the world.
Mages cannot be treated as guilty just by association.
I can't tell you how reassuring that is. Sometimes, you're the only reason I don't think I'm crazy. When you still believed in me after I almost killed that poor girl, I knew you meant it. You wouldn't say it just to make me feel better. You make me think I can really do this. Lead a revolution.
I didn't realize you were planning anything that big.
No small change would address the injustice that mages face. The Chantry itself must be overturned. There will always be mages born in Thedas. But Templars are made by men. And they can be unmade.
Why does this matter so much to you?
You saw Sir Ulrich's plan. How many Templars would prefer that every mage was a mindless, drooling babe? In the Circle, they tell you day and night that magic is sin. A mark on your soul of the Maker's hatred. But for all the talk of demons, the most common death I saw for a mage was suicide.
Together, we'll win this fight.
Your faith inspires me. Sometimes, I fear I cannot do this. Not while I struggle against this vengeance inside me. But I know You won't let me lose myself to him.
Were you ever dedicated in the faith of the Chantry?
I have no memory of my childhood. Denarius had no desire to teach his slaves anything that made them think they're worthy beings.
I'm sorry. I can't imagine how difficult your life has been.
No, you can't.
Whether you were taught it or not, the Maker has room at his side for every soul, even yours.
Maker guide you, Hawke.
Your Sir Ulrich was working on a plan to turn all mages tranquil.
I will not ask how you came by the personal effects of a man recently murdered within our own walls. It's true there has been some discussion of the idea, but as you can see, it has gone no further than that.
You expect us to believe that?
Contrary to your belief, not everyone is out to persecute mages.
The harrowing has served us well enough for centuries. It will be up to mages themselves whether they push us to more stringent measures.
It sounds like you support this.
The Tranquil ritual was created as a mercy so that mages need not be killed out of hand for a threat they might pose. There is an argument to be made for applying it more widely.
Are you going to listen to this? He's no better than Sir Ulrich.
Do you think it's easy to contain a mage who truly wants to deal with demons? We have done our best. But many mages have made it clear they view the ritual as no better than death. They want no controls on them at all.
I was just leaving.
Make a watch over you.
I think Grace trusts me. I'm the only Templar. I can't keep delirium on her dogs.
I can't believe Sir Conrad was Illyrians. Yes, they found us. I'm sure you're not surprised.
Harlot's blush. What a scandalous name for such a pretty flower.
Is there something you want, Anders?
You really don't have the temperament for a slave.
Is that a compliment or an insult?
I'm just wondering how your master didn't kill you.
How have the Templars not killed you?
I'm charming.
The Maker would not set me a challenge greater than I can manage. The Maker would not set me a challenge greater than I can manage.
You know, Fenris, as a brother in the Chantry, I'm allowed to hear confessions.
Why would you tell me this?
I know Denarius made you. I thought you should know. A murder committed under duress is a sin on the one who ordered it, not the one whose hands carried out the deed.
Have I not spoken enough of my past? Does everyone in Kirkwall wish to hear every sordid detail?
I know I do.
Sometimes it's painful to speak, but it's the only way the wound can be lanced.
Something of yours. Well, isn't that a sight for sun-blind eyes? Thank you more than... kindly.
Nothing to report, Captain.
Good. Carry on.
I wonder if actually warring with the Kunari would cause as much damage as this disaster.
Years of nice, quiet anxiety. Gone. Along with a whole street.
The Kunari were blameless.
Right. A mad elf pushed by zealots, likely hidden in the very groups I have to appease. The Maker has a grand sense of humor. And the Arishok. I suspected he had no plans to leave. I didn't know it was just as annoying for him.
You could send him gold and he'd complain it was heavy.
And it's about to get worse. A shame. There were overtures of civility. Your influence, no doubt.
What happened?
A Kunari delegate and entourage paid me a visit. It was civil, tentative, hopeful. They left my chambers with precision, but were not reported by the outer guard. They are missing almost literally from my doorstep. What do you imagine will be the Arishok's reaction?
Do the Qunari generally keep you updated?
Qunari do not disappear. They know we watch, and they are not shy about their movement. Speak to Seneschal Brown. He has details that show how damning this is. I don't know who would benefit from fighting the Qunari, but it will cost all of us.
You have information about the missing Qunari?
I am to help you, yes. Viscount Dumas would appreciate discretion in this matter. I would prefer that you were not involved at all, but that is neither here nor there.
I'm having a hard time picturing the abduction of a Qunari entourage.
Unfortunately, they were not at their best. Their swords were tied into their sheaths, as I advised. It seemed a respectful compromise. Even I know you cannot separate a Qunari from his weapon.
Has anyone reported this to the Qunari?
Maker, no. I'd be signing the messenger's death warrant. He'll find out soon enough, of course. And when he does, the Viscount is rightly concerned that the illusion of peace will dissolve.
The Arishok is growing violent. He might want an excuse to end this peace.
I suspect that if the Arishok wanted to take over, he simply would. For all we fear that heretical Qun of his, its demands have done more to keep him in check than any of our efforts. Besides, would Qunari stoop to trickery? There is no precedent, but there is unfortunate evidence of influence on our side.
It sounds like you don't want them found.
I must think of what is best for the Viscount's office. Bringing attention to such an incident benefits no one.
You would do nothing?
The Qunari are neutral hostiles at best. There is no relationship to salvage by overextending ourselves on their behalf.
So where would you start, if you were the starting type?
I would begin with the most obvious failure. It's clear the City Guard has no excuse for allowing this, unless they were involved. Several. You should start with one of them. Although where you find a swordsman so eager to sell his honor and duty, I'm sure I don't know.
The Hanged Man.
Hanged Man.
Right. Then you know what to look for. I can't imagine this has occurred without notice. There is always a weak link. Please keep this quiet. The Viscount is under enough scrutiny as it is.
I've got something to show you. Come and see. It's beautiful, isn't it?
You're much prettier.
Oh, you're too kind. Is it warm in here? Stop bubbling, Mary. I've spent the last few years restoring this. One of my clan found it in the Brazilian forest, we think.
Poor Tamlin. We never found him. Just the shattered pieces of the Alluvion.
What's an Alluvion?
Long ago, the elves had a kingdom. An empire that covered Thedas. And every city had an Alluvion. The mirrors let them communicate across their empire. But I don't know how exactly. My people have lost so much. We know almost nothing of the days before Arlathon. This is a piece of our history.
What are you trying to do with this mirror?
At first, I just wanted to find Tamlin. But it's been too long. Tamlin is probably dead by now, if he wasn't already. But still, I know it can help my people. I can at least recover this one small part of our heritage.
This thing is what made the Keeper send you away, isn't it?
The Keeper wanted me to destroy the fragment I kept. She said our ancestors meant it to be forgotten. But it's a Keeper's place to remember. Even the dangerous things. We argued. I left. She's wrong. This mirror could teach us so much about who we once were.
Do you think the mirror had something to do with Tamlin's disappearance?
The ruin we tracked Tamlin to was full of traps and monstrous things. But we found no body. His trail ended at the broken pieces of Illuvion.
Tell me you didn't bring the killer mirror to Kirkwall just because it's pretty.
It's not dangerous, I promise. I fixed it, or tried to, with blood magic. The mirror won't hurt anyone.
I cringe every time she says that. She has no idea what she's messing with.
I do. I have it totally under control. But it doesn't work. I've tried everything, and I think it's because it needs to be finished with a special tool. An Arulin home. And my clan has one. It's been in their hands for generations.
I hear a butt coming.
I can't go back there alone. You have no idea, the Keeper. I can't talk to her. We fight or talk circles around each other. She has a disappointed frown that turns your bones to jelly. Please, help me. You will, won't you?
I'll go with you.
Master Arnus, I'll find some way to repay you, I promise.
I seem to recall you saying something a while ago.
Shut up.
I can control it. Wasn't that what you said?
So help me.
If you walk the paths of Sundermount, walk softly. Something of...
Keeper, you return to us, Stalin. Have you reconsidered this path at last?
Go on. I'm with you.
Thank you, Hawke. Keeper, I need the Arulin home, the ancient carving blade that Master Island keeps.
I see. You wish to rebuild the Illuvion.
You don't have to approve of it. I'm invoking Via Sulavanen. I'll do whatever task you wish.
Well, I'm glad to know I can still disapprove. It is your right. I will give you a service to perform if you insist.
What did Merrill invoke?
Our history belongs to all Dalish, child. So our clan's most cherished relics can be claimed by everyone. Any Dalish can perform a service for the clan and gain ownership of such an item. For a time. That is what Merrill has invoked. Even if she has chosen to live apart, she is still one of the people.
What exactly is this thing we're asking for?
It is an ancient carving tool, used by our wood shapers, passed down for countless generations. Our clan has carried it since before the fall of the Dales. It is as old as Arlathan itself.
It's a lot to ask, but could you two try to be less elfy for the sake of the human present?
We are what we are, child, but I'll try to speak more of the common tongue. Avar Terrell has taken the lives of 3 of our hunters. It lairs in a cavern in the mountainside. Seek it out, slay it. No one else must fall to its anger. Do this for us, and I will give you the Arulin home. May the Dread Wolf never catch your scent.
Dalish crafting is second to none, I assure you.
The cave must be near camp. The Keeper would just warn the hunters away otherwise.
Destructive forces of nature coming up! For freedom! Get back! Destructive forces of nature coming up!
What were the hunters doing in here?
The Keeper would have sent them to recover elven artifacts from the Varterol before the camp had to move in again.
So your keeper sent them to their deaths?
No. Normally they let the Dalish come and go as we please. Something must have provoked it. Why did this happen? Oh, Harshal, I am so sorry. I'll tell Iniria for...
I'll show you why nature's a sin!
just the work of a...
Jandan.
Tread carefully, Lethaline.
May the trickster never find you in the...
We should give their clan amulets to the Keeper. Their family should know that they died.
Is someone there? It's safe. You can come out.
Hello? Praise Andraste. I mean the creators. I thought I'd never get out of... Meryl?
Anethera, Paul. Are you hurt?
Stay back! What do you want from me?
Paul, what's wrong? I'm here to help.
Stay back! Don't touch me!
Be calm, Paul. We'll help you get back to the camp.
You don't know what she is, what she's done! Creators, help me! Someone, please!
Paul, no! We have to catch him, hurry!
Hold on, Paul. We're coming.
May the dreadful never falter me!
Line them up for me. I'll take them down.
Paul? Maybe it's not too late.
You can help him, can't you, Anders? You can heal anyone. Why did you run? You shouldn't have run!
What did you do to scare this man to death? There was nothing you could have done.
He was more afraid of me than the Varteral.
Is that really so surprising?
Paul wasn't like the others. He was city-born, worldly. He ran away from the Denerim and found us. I thought if anyone would understand, he would. Something is very wrong. I want to see the Keeper.
What was he thinking? He acted like I was a monster.
You are a monster.
You're not helping.
Good.
Run! While you can! Destructive forces of nature coming up! For freedom!
The way everyone looked at me in the camp when we arrived. What have they been saying about me? They must think I'm worse than the Blight. I've never hurt the clan. They had no reason to be afraid of me. None of this makes any sense.
Destructive forces of nature coming up! My magic will destroy you!
Nice work.
The Maker didn't free me.
I see you've been thinking about what I said.
I freed myself. If the Maker did anything, he watched. Why should I thank him for that?
Is it so hard to believe the Maker cares for you? Maybe he gave you the chance to escape.
It doesn't feel like the Maker cares for me, or anyone.
We all make our own choices to do good as well as evil. That is our doing, not the Maker's.
Perhaps. It's been a long time since I gave it any thought.
It's not too late to start.
The Varterral is dead.
Maseranus, I'll breathe easier knowing that we will lose no more people to it.
We found these.
I'll return them to their families.
We lost Paul. In the cave, he fled at the sight of me. Straight into the Varterral.
Many of the clan fear you will bring back the corruption. Or worse, from the mirror.
And where did they get that idea?
I am their keeper, Dalain. It was my duty to warn them. It's still not too late for you to return to us. Reconsider. There's no need for you to live alone.
Must we go over this again? You'll never accept what I'm doing.
The Eluvian is a trap. It cost us Tamlin. It led you to blood magic. Will you let it twist you further from who you really are?
And who am I? We've done as you asked. Honor our bargain. Give me the Arulin home.
Hawke, Because Merrill won't listen, I give this heirloom of my clan to you for safekeeping. Please, don't let her do this.
Thank the creators. I thought maybe she'd go back on her word.
Is it worth restoring this mirror if it turns your clan against you?
You know what it's like to lose everything, Hawke. Not just our land and freedom, but history, stories, language, magic, rituals. Even our gods are gone. It is a sacrifice, but if the mirror restores even one fragment of the past, it's worth it.
What did the Keeper mean the mirror led you to blood magic?
The shard I picked up was corrupted. I couldn't cleanse it without help. The Keeper refused. She said that it belonged to another time and should be left there. So I found a spirit. It gave me the power to purify the mirror through blood magic.
I've never heard of blood magic purifying anything.
Neither have I.
There's nothing inherently evil about blood magic. It's magic, like any other. The power that contaminated the mirror was too strong to be driven out by normal means. If I had piles of lyrium lying about, I could have used that, but I didn't. I used what I had.
I hope this helps you finish your work on the Illuvian.
No one asked you. Thank you. I knew you would understand. Let's be away from here. The others are giving me the evil eye.
Andarana Tushan, Hawke.
I feel like there's a different lord marking this place.
You've returned. Is there something you need?
I don't need it.
Of course.
Places hunger for people to find them. No matter how disagreeable the denizens.
So many mages here could be.
The Chantry has taken a harder edge
So
against
few
the
have
Canary.
experienced it.
You light them, but we call these apostates anyway.
Perhaps allow more of the blood to drain from the heart next time. Ah, my young friend. How goes the search? Ah, my young friend. How goes... the search?
A storm is coming. I can smell it.
Watch your steps, Jan.
If you walk
You
the
don't know
path
how
of
many
Sunderland,
Danish arrows are trained on you right now.
something out there hungers for the unwary.
Dalish crafting is second to none.
You've returned. Is there something you need? A Dalish crafter do...
If you walk the paths of Sundermount, walk softly. Something out there hungers for the unwary.
Look around. So many things to admire.
Last bottle of the Egregio. I've been saving it for a special occasion.
And what's that?
The anniversary of my escape. Astia Vala Firmundis. Care to hear the story?
I thought you avoided talking about this.
Not on special occasions.
Go ahead. Get it out of your system.
Let's see. You've heard of Saharan? The Imperium and the Qunari have fought over the island for centuries now. I was there with Denarius during a Qunari attack. I managed to get him to a ship, but there was no room for a slave. I was left behind. I barely got out of the city alive.
There's nothing like war for covering one's escape.
I had no intention of escaping. That time. There are rebels in the Saharan jungles called Fog Warriors. They found me and took me in, nursed me back to health. I stayed with them for a time, until Denarius finally came for me.
He was relieved to see you'd survived, right?
Relieved to see his investment hadn't ended up in Qunari hands, perhaps. I'd grown fond of the rebels. They bowed to no master and fought for their freedom. It was beyond my experience. When Denarius came, they refused to let him take me. He ordered me to kill them. So I did. I killed them all.
Once a slave, always a slave?
It felt inevitable. My master had returned and this fantasy life was over. But once it was done, I looked down at their bodies. I felt... I couldn't. I ran, and never looked back.
Didn't Daenerys stop you?
The rebels had wounded him. The soldiers he brought attempted to capture me, unsuccessfully. It was weeks before Daenerys was able to mount the hunt in earnest, but by then, I was already gone.
Couldn't you have found other fog warriors? Become a rebel?
Even if I did, I felt unworthy. I had no way of knowing if I could truly escape from Daenerys then. I didn't even know what that meant. I simply had to get away. I stowed aboard a ship to the mainland and moved south, chased by my former master every step of the way.
How well did you know these fog warriors?
I knew them only a few months, but in that time, I felt as if I truly lived. They were bold, strong, free with their affections. I was in awe of them and owed them everything. And I turned on them even so.
Gripping stuff. You should write it down.
You think they teach slaves how to write? I've never spoken about what happened to anyone. I've never wanted to. You and I don't always agree, but...
Too much wine will make anyone chatty.
Let's just say you've earned my respect. A last toast, then. To the fallen.
You know, when I return to Starkhaven, you're welcome to come with me.
And do what, exactly?
You're a fine warrior. If you could train men to fight like you do, we'd be unstoppable.
I'm no leader, but I doubt humans would want me training them.
Then why not train elves? I bet there's plenty who would admire all you've accomplished.
I haven't accomplished anything.
No? You are your own man, living as you see fit. You give yourself too little credit.
You are being kind.
Not at all. Think about it.
In the market for something special? Friend?
I think I knew that man back in Antiva. Bye!
What do you want, Hawke? I have no interest in adding to my distractions.
And yet you sent a delegate to the Viscount.
A brief attempt to educate. If the dwarf had stolen the Sarkamek, it could have been used to show the price of greed. But you know the outcome of that. These fools are determined to be wrong. I won't waste the effort again.
A courtesy, Arishok. The delegate and his guards are missing.
Anyone else, and those words would have been their last. You are handling this, not your buffoon of a Viscount.
I am.
Then I will wait. But know this, the provocations we have suffered have worked. If this is not resolved, I can fulfill my duty to the Qun with far less annoyance by sifting through rubble.
You know, I think we're under enough pressure without the help.
I am eager to see how you resolve this.
Screaming mage. You have a lot of enemies.
More than I knew. My reputation precludes me. Take my advice, friend. Stay away from storytellers. Never know what they'll say.
I don't want no trouble, sir.
Nothing worth scavenging today.
So you're a prince, are you?
That is apparently true.
There's doubt?
I've accepted the burden. That's all that matters. Why do you ask, guard captain?
The entitled types are always trouble.
In that case, I'm glad I don't count myself as one.
They never do.
hope this wasn't presumptuous, but I added your husband's name to the memorial wall in the chantry.
Wesley? But... you never knew him.
He was a Templar. He refused to abandon the people of Ferelden to the Blight. He died too young. The Grand Cleric will read his name during the Chant of Remembrance.
Thank you. That is... very kind.
He walks with the Maker. But it is no shame for those left behind to mourn.
We used to have another bar.
I once knew a sailor like... Oh?
He went into the back room for another keg of ale one day and never returned. So you be careful going back there.
I promise. If I go back there, I won't be alone.
What have I done now? You look like you wish to scold me.
I just can't fathom why you're still in Kirkwall. For 6 years you've been claiming you'll retake your parents' lands. You're smart. You'd be a capable ruler. What are you waiting for?
I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
Do we ever get to know that?
On me, because I found out Qunari bleed like everyone else. That's right, pal. Tonight I'm paid and blessed, and all I had to do was turn my head. To all my friends. Hey, step back. I know important people. We're gonna show this city what to do with heathen Oxman.
Guard Captain, would you like to have a word with your man?
Guard Captain?
Who?
What?
Who?
Who what? I don't...
Who bought you? Who bought the honor of a proud guard of Kirkwall and made him a drunken Mabari bitch?
I don't know. He was a Templar, I swear. He had the seal of the Grand Cleric and everything. It's true.
The penalty for abandoning your post is 10 days on the wall. I expect you to report in the morning. There's your answer. A Templar.
With the Grand Cleric's seal, no less. Well done.
So he comes down wearing nothing but his boots.
The man was a drunk. Surely you don't think Grand Cleric Elthina is funding zealots?
It's a careful chat about missing Qunari.
Keep an open mind, Hawke. Elthina isn't behind this.
The Grand Cleric, please. Tell her it concerns the Qunari.
Sirrah Hawke.
Sister Patrice.
Mother Patrice. Time has changed us both. Grand Cleric Elthina cannot grant an audience to just anyone. What do you want?
Funny how you and issues with the Qunari seem to go together.
And you always assume their side. I was naive when last we met. I did not want you dead, but I felt a death was necessary. That may be too fine a point for you to understand, but you must admit, you came out the better for it.
A Templar may have misjudged an order and abused the Grand Cleric's authority.
I assure you, the Templars would never embarrass the Chantry, at risk of the Knight Commander's wrath.
Men were hired for the righteous task of kidnapping a Qunari delegate. A pause that says you knew. But does her grace?
The Grand Cleric trusts her stewards to enact the wishes of the Maker.
It sounds like you've been bad. This will shock her grace, no doubt.
Stubborn. All right, Sirrah Hawke. If you won't abandon this, let me offer you something. The Templar you seek is a radical who has grown unreliable. Confronting him may do us all a favor.
And he is what to you?
He is my former bodyguard, Ser Von El. Assume what you wish, but I offer him to you as reconciliation. Meet me at this location. I invite you, Sirrah Hawke. Come see the unrest these Qunari have inspired.
Need I say I'm skeptical? So, how good is Donnic? Is he cocksure?
Just get it out of your system.
Did he curl your toes? Grope your grinder? Float your frigate? Pamper your paragon? Grey your warden? How about satisfy a demand of your Qun?
Yes, all right. He's an incredibly proficient lover. Happy?
Well, that's rather personal, don't you think?
Is something troubling you?
Did you know someone used the authority of your name to instigate a crime against the Qunari?
The path to righteousness is never as straight and narrow as we wish. I truly hoped this would not go so far, but do not trouble yourself. I will step in when it's time.
Are you intending to stay neutral about the Qunari and mages forever?
The Maker's time is not men's time. We do not need to rush.
I'll have to remember that line the next time I'm late.
The Chantry is not a domineering father with the whip always in hand. She is a gentle mother who knows her children learn best when allowed to learn themselves.
Nice place for a rally. Good choice, Varnell.
Patrice is here somewhere.
Wonderful.
Kunari hold no real power. They are absent from the eyes of the Maker. Do not fear them. They die like any animal.
Like any beast, remove the fangs and it is lost. They are weak before the faithful of the Maker. The only certainty in their precious Qun is death before the righteous.
Sir Varnell!
Take a knee, faithful. The Chantry blesses us.
You claim a blessing when you have used the authority of the Grand Cleric so openly? You have brought wrath down upon you. You remember Sirrah Hawke? The Kunari have friends, Templar. How will you answer their allegations?
You want a fight? Face someone whose weapons are not bound.
Righteous! Destroy them!
Afraid yet? I'll cut you through! You're gonna regret this will be done! Fireball! Afraid yet?
All right. Time to bring this mess to the Viscount's attention.
Madness! Madness!
Yes, Excellency.
Chantry involvement. Even if they are fringe elements, oh, it could not be worse.
Her Grace had no knowledge of this affair. I trust she will deal with it swiftly.
You killed them? All of them?
A mother serving the Grand Cleric allowed this to happen.
Are you quite sure? She held a blade with them? Told them to fight you?
No, I cannot say that.
Of course not. Blasted mother. You have no idea the storm these allegations would cause. It would destroy what support I do have.
I have had trouble with her before. She is slippery.
I understand. I will make my inquiries. Gently. And you should be careful in your associations. For now, we have other problems. We have the delegate, but I can't return the bodies to the Canary in this state. Sirrah Hawke, you know the Arishok. What should I do?
Hiding this would only make it worse.
It would, wouldn't it? I'm losing my sense of how to balance this nightmare. I appreciate your help in this matter. As bad as this is, it could have been much worse without you. Kirkwall owes you. I owe you.
Right. Let's just get this over with.
A duel?
No, the sermon. The finger-wagging, the guilt trips. Telling me how an unexamined life isn't worth living.
I wasn't going to...
You weren't? You weren't going to tell me to comfort the needy and give freely of myself?
From what I hear, you already give yourself quite freely.
Ooh, you got me there.
Brilliant. I'm amazed that you found everything. My craft... and begin anew. Your reward, my young friend.
Mother Patrice?
Sirrah Hawke, it is good to see you. The shame that Varnell brought his order is most unfortunate.
the shame he brought.
Praise the Maker that you were his champion in that dark place.
Look, we're both adults here. Can we drop the pretense?
I think you'll find that I have said nothing threatening or untruthful.
You and your careful language.
I gave you what you wanted at considerable cost. Varnell is more manageable as a martyr, but his loss will be felt. You have avenged heretical Kunari with human blood. Surely that is good enough for you.
It might be, if you were going to give this up. But you're not.
Varnell was a fool, but the facts remain. An offense to the Maker goes unchallenged. I will give you no further cause to shame the Chantry today, but we will have this argument again. The Viscount's incompetence all but guarantees it.
Other children used to laugh at me for having ginger hair.
Really? Oh, I bet you were cute. Did you have pigtails?
Sometimes.
How precious. Little Aveline running around the village with her flaming orange pigtails streaming behind her. And little boys all scattering and screaming for mercy as she approached.
Shut up, whore.
Is something troubling you?
What is the Chantry's stance on the Kunari presence here?
Would it help anything for us to get involved? If the Kunari act against us, the Templar... Otherwise, we guard ourselves best by waiting.
I'm
giving it all up. I made a vow to the Chantry, and it was wrong to turn my back.
Sebastian, listen to yourself. You're as impulsive now as the day you turned away from us. Do you think the Maker wants another rashly spoken vow that you'll abandon when the next passion takes you?
I will not...
This is your life, child. Don't spend it being blown about like a weather vane. But here's Hawke. Maybe you can talk some sense into him.
I don't think sense is really my strong suit.
How long has she spent telling me to return to the Chantry, and now that I want to, she won't take me? It was wrong for me to break my oath to the Chantry. I've turned against the Maker. And for what? Why would I want to rule Starkhaven and deal with jackals like Lady Harriman for the rest of my life?
Do you see yourself as a prince or a priest?
That's exactly the question I've been praying for guidance about. When I think of going to Starkhaven, calling on allies like Flora Harriman and all the corrupt, scheming nobles, my throat swells shut in horror. When I think about staying, I'm at peace.
If you give it up, what then?
I suppose I must convince Elthina my commitment is sincere. Then I will remain here, to represent the Maker's interests as she thinks best.
Do you see yourself as a prince or a...
My throat swells shut in horror. When I think about staying, I'm at peace.
When you're a prince, those same jackals will kneel at your feet and pay you taxes.
I do not have hubris enough to imagine it matters to the common people who rules them. Someone will take the reins. The fields will be planted, the crops gathered. No one will notice that a Vale lives and isn't there, and I can devote my life to the Maker's will on Thedas.
You're wise to stay here. No one trusts a man who breaks his oath.
I cannot return to Starkhaven and subject my people to war without a clear sign that it's the Maker's will.
Good day, Sir Hawke.
A true disaster. There is no pleasing anyone after this.
I'm preparing for the worst. The very worst. This may be...
There's been no change. None. More Qunari dead for no reason other than hate. It's going to take more to change.
Hey, I think I knew that man back in Antiva. Bye.
So you could not rescue my delegate, but you killed those responsible. How do you explain the condition of their bodies?
A fanatic used them to incite others of his kind.
I accept that.
I expected worse.
I have seen every vice and weakness of your kind, and how few of you take responsibility. Your Viscount remains a fool, but you are not. Panahedan, Hawke. I will keep one good thought about your kind. Go, Hawke. Another time.
Enchantment! No, Leandra. Leandra.
What's wrong, Uncle?
There you are. Where's your mother? Is she feeling all right?
I'm sure she's all right. Why are you so upset?
Your mother didn't show up for our weekly visit. Is she ill? She is here, isn't she?
No, Gamlin. We haven't seen her all day.
Where could she be?
With her suitor, perhaps?
Suitor? Leandra never mentioned a suitor.
Well, those lilies arrived for her this morning.
White lilies? I know something about that.
Don't just leave me waiting. What is it?
There's a killer in Kirkwall who sends his victims white lilies before he takes them. He's murdered several women already. I know someone who might be able to help. Gascar Dupuis.
No. You're wrong. Leandra is fine.
Aveline will get the city guard to keep an eye out. Don't worry, Uncle.
All right.
That girl will know what to do. Maybe Leandra took another path to my house. I could have just missed her. I'm going back to Lowtown.
You should help Gamlin look for your mother. You might be able to track her more easily once night falls and the streets empty out. All right. The boy and I will stay here in case she returns. Good to see you again, Miss Anne. Nothing new to report.
This isn't a toy. Somewhere out there, a table is mourning the loss of its leg.
Always at your service, Miss
Your
Anne.
house is pretty.
I hope...
All is well, Master.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.
It's different here as captain. Feels like family.
I have something for you.
Do you now? A shield? Oh, and born by the one true Sir Aveline. Lovely. Thank you.
See? This is why I never get you anything.
I have a shield. It belonged to Wesley. It has served me well. Are you suggesting that I give it up entirely? Pawn it away and be done with it?
You're taking this a bit seriously.
If you didn't think this would upset me, what was your intent?
It's not enough to want you to be happy.
Happy is for fools.
Okay. It's not the shield, is it?
No, and it's not Wesley. You've got me doing a lot of things. Some I don't agree with. Some I'm surprised I do. I'm not sure where I'm going as it is. Replacing what I was with this... I mean, who is Sir Aveline to me?
It seems odd you don't feel a kinship. You don't feel the name fits you.
I didn't choose my name. Aveline was a wish my father made. I am similar to what he pictured, but that's because of what I try to be, not what I assume I should. Sir Aveline was a fine figure, but I don't revere failure, however glorious.
I thought of you when I found it. Maybe that was foolish.
I can appreciate that.
Then accept it on those merits. Nothing more.
It is a fine shield. You do know that Orlesian Smith slapped Sir Aveline's name on every second piece of armor. This didn't really belong to her.
It does now.
Good luck getting in. I've been waiting all day.